both my parents have been supporting my music from when we had a sound system in high school. So it's really like a proper pandemic album still, you know what I mean? That gang is a mastermind behind the beats. Yeah. That one there, mad.
Wha Gwaan Munchy.
Miss Munchy, what we tell him?
I hear me, Miss Munchy.
People lock with Munchy.
Miss Munchy.
Are you run the thing, so watch you know.
You know me, I say Munchy.
Munchy. Yell up Munchy.
Wha Gwaan Munchy.
Reggaeville family, welcome to another episode of Wha Gwaan Munchy, and we are truly blessed this fall because good new albums are dropping in abundance. On September 30th, my guest just released his new album, The Kalling, and now I am calling Kabaka Pyramid. Wha Gwaan Kabaka.
Wha Gwaan, and there I give thanks.
I hope all is well. I mentioned The Kalling is out. Your new album dropped on September 30th. It's a must listen. And once more, you created this piece with Damian Marley. He was already involved in the production of the last album, and now he did the entire body of work. How can I imagine the vibes when the two of you are in the studio?
Yeah, it's a great vibe. I mean, the two of us love music. I'm passionate about music. It's always late night. So you have to be able to, you know what I mean? For do the graveyard shift if you're in studio with it.
Okay.
Yeah. But you don't know, the vibes is always up, and a whole heap of creative ideas. Gang is a mastermind behind the beats. I'm always there by the MPC and knock out the drum patterns, them and thing. And yeah, it's just a vibe. It's just a vibe in studio. Like enough people pass through the studio just to soak up the vibes and the energy. So it's always a good energy.
Nice, wonderful to hear. I mentioned it's called The Kalling. So who is calling whom, or were you called, or are you calling someone, or?
Yeah, I think everybody has a calling. You could say the calling is from the Most High still. Everybody have a purpose. Everybody have something that is their mission in life. And I feel like music is my mission. And, music with a purpose, music with a message, all of these things. And similar to, carrying forward the theme from Contraband, where the message in the music come in like contraband, like they don't want us to put it out, but it's still, we're called to do it, so we have to do it. You know what I mean? So, yeah, it's really the most time. Yeah.
Mm-hmm. How long have you been working on The Kalling? I mean, I figure it started during the pandemic. Did the pandemic have any influence on the creation of the record? I mean, that could be positive, that could be negative, of course, as well. How was it like?
Yeah, man, for sure. Definitely throughout the pandemic. I think probably Easy Ride was one of the first songs recorded. Zilla actually sent me that beat when I was in Jamaica and actually recorded it at home in Jamaica, most of the song there. And that was like early 2020, so it's really like a proper pandemic album still, you know what I mean? And yeah, even it influenced in terms of, we just had a whole heap of time on our hands. We weren't touring, we weren't doing, shows, we weren't doing a lot of things, music, everything just kind of got stagnant, but we could always create music, and even songs like Addiction kind of came up about influenced by the whole pandemic because we're stuck at home. Everybody kind of turned to social media. We're not engaging with our friends and family physically, so everything is social media, everything is online shopping. Enough people, put on pandemic weight because them overeating and all them not exercising enough, and you know what I mean? So it definitely had an influence.
Mm-hmm. I'm happy to see and to hear that through the pandemic, this good piece of music came out, that this had a positive impact, and you were able to create this body of work. We will talk about it more in depth. If you want to find out more records that are being released right now, you can always check Reggaeville.com. We have a section named Music, and there you find all the recent and upcoming releases, whether that be albums or singles. And of course, also you can find the Cedric Myton, who just dropped The Rat Trap, and Hirie, Mood Swing is their new record, which is out as well. Also, Fury by Unlimited Culture, and their video just premiered with us on Reggaeville YouTube.
Zu dir und du zu mir. Wir Bleistift zum Papier. Und weil ich ohne die Nerven verlieren darf, bist du niemals stark. Und drum sag ich's laut. Danke Reggae Music für alles, was du mir gibst. Du hast meinen Geist befreit. Und halt schrei ich's hinaus für die Reggae Music. Gibst mir für nie am Only. Du öffnest mir die Augen immer wieder. Von Ausweg Sieg. Und ich sag's laut. Danke Reggae Music für alles, was du mir gibst. Du hast meinen Geist befreit. Und halt schreit es hinaus für die Reggae Music. Du öffnest mir die Augen immer wieder. Kein Ausweg Sieg. Hey, yeah. Oh.
Kabaka, the new album, The Kalling, it starts with a track called Mystic Man, which also includes a sample by Peter Tosh and his original song.
Mhm.
Why did you choose a song by Peter Tosh? Why did you choose this particular one? And why to open the project?
Yeah, so Peter Tosh is one of my major influences in my music. You know, everybody know me as a big Sizzler fan, but Peter Tosh is somebody I used to listen very early from I was young, you know, and he had a severe impact on me. And I think just the militancy of how we move and how we have this kind of fiery energy, a lot of it similar to Peter Tosh and influenced by him, you know. So I thought that, you know, sampling a record from him was really great. And this is my favorite song from him personally. You know, I just love that
cool.
song. You know, and just I say, I'm on the home. I don't drink them soda pop and I don't eat them hamburgers, and it's just, you know, it's kind of things like I would have said, and it's, you know, it's my lifestyle certain way. So I felt like it was a good way to just introduce the album, introduce myself to new fans who might not know me and know, say, you know, he's a mystic man certain way, we're different, we're unique. You know, and yeah, I felt it was a great way to introduce the album to just kind of have an introductory kind of sound to it, you know.
Yeah, man. And of course, it has your kind of trademark because it's spelled with a K instead of the C, right?
Of course.
Just
definitely.
like
Yeah, we'll
the
have to have that.
contraband and so forth, and the calling, of
And the
course.
calling. Yeah,
Right.
definitely.
And speaking of samples that were used, you also used a sample by the Spinners. Now that we're together, a very lovely song from 1976. It has this typical,
Yep.
I would say, 70s soul kind of vibe, and it gives the
Soul.
whole song, yeah, this very positive,
Really soulful
hopeful,
thing.
yeah, man, kind of vibe.
Yes.
How did you come across this piece?
So, you know, so Damian always have a bunch of samples that him just have lined up to do beats with. Like anytime you hear some interest in him, we'll like record a piece of it and just have it in the MPC ready for whenever beats need for mix. So I think that was one of from his older sample collection, you know, and we're just going through, you know, listening for stuff. And when I heard that now, I was like, yeah. That one there, mad. You know, and yeah, we just start cutting it up, and the whole thing just even there was this one part in the sample that had like minor chords, because most of it is like major chords. That's why it feels so positive and uplifting.
Yeah.
And then I was like, why don't you use that one little minor clip at the end of the chorus? And then in the end of cut it and put it in the end of the chorus, then you get the idea for just keep the chorus in minor chords and just switch up the whole vibe. I mean the verse in minor chords and just switch up the whole vibe for the verse. And that's kind of how you end up get the do, you know, in other sorry, morning voice. But that's how you get that little vibe there in the verse, and it just switch up to this kind of darker, more aggressive feeling of the verse. You know, and then it comes back to the lighter, uplifting vibe in the chorus, and Jamiri vocals over it was just, you know, superb. You know what I mean?
Yeah, man, definitely. I mean, it's so cool to have to get an insight on how you guys actually work in the studio and how you go about your
Yeah.
productions and stuff. It's really cool. As I mentioned,
man.
that's a soul kind of vibe. Then you have, of course, the roots reggae. You have a little funk as well, and of course, you have a whole lot of hip hop on it as well. And I remember we had a conversation previously to this one, and you said you did not want to put Contraband Part 2 as the first song because you said it would be too much hip hop, maybe. So how do you want to be seen from the people? What is the Kabaka Pyramid genre or style of music, or is there even a genre for you?
Yeah, it's an interesting question. These are things me and the team sit and discuss all the time. You know, what's the best way to market the music? And, you know, at the end of the day, I'm a reggae artist. And my fan base is a reggae fan base. You know what I mean? People, the majority of my fans, they want to hear reggae. So, you know, when you're doing an album, you want to start the project in a way that appeals to a wide cross section of your audience. You don't want necessarily pigeonhole yourself into one thing and then people are like, you know, why I'm not feeling this one? Why start with this? So you kind of that's some of the thinking going into it. But at the end of the day, the hip hop vibe is a part of my identity too.
Yeah.
And you know, it's like you have to kind of train your fans to what your sound is as well. You know, so I think Mystic Man did a better job of that than Contraband Part 2 in terms of it has that hip hop vibe, but it still have a reggae sample, you know, a sample from a popular reggae artist. Where it's almost like I'm rapping on it at the same time, but in a Jamaican style. So it really had a nicer balance for me.
But I mean, I just wanted to add to that I mean, we love your hip hop side. We love both the Kabaka side and Pyramid side of the artist that you are. And I mean, the album is very diverse. At the same time, it's really organic. I think due to the fact that Damian produced it all. So I mean, it's all killer no filler eventually, you know. So
yeah, man, give thanks, man, give thanks.
Congrats on that, of course. I said you used samples and you invited feature guests as well. Stephen Marley, Jesse Royal, the Protege are on the Kalling, for example. Damian is on Red, Gold, and Green, right? And Buju Banton is on it as well for a song called Faded Away. How was working with the legend Gargamel?
Well, unfortunately, I didn't get to work with him in studio. You know, but we sent him the vocal and we just, you know, we waited quite a bit to get the vocal, but he was always the only option for that song. He was the first, second, third, fourth option, you know. So yeah, we sent him it earlier this year because that song was one of the more recent ones to be produced, you know. And we sent him it, and actually the version of the song we sent him is different from what you're hearing now. So when we got the vocals and we were like, you know, because we had a kind of more modern interpretation of the sample and thing, but we kind of brought it back to that early 90s vibe, just based on how Buju voiced its sound and the record and all of that. And it really come out much better than the previous version. But we still might end up dropping a remix or something later on, maybe early next year or something like. We'll see how the vibes go. But there's a next version of that beat that kind of have like a trappish vibe too. You know what I mean? Where but we like the old school, the way how it a hit, and it just sound like Buju in prime form. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And yeah, definitely excited about this one. You know, we didn't get to release it until a day before the album, but you know, the reaction has been crazy so far.
Yeah, I mean, it's really like when you guys come in with the verses, it's like really like dropping a bomb, you know. I mean, when Buju said, when them say money are them God and them not need no other. The riches are getting richer.
Trouble.
That sample is used in the song. What motivated the song? How was the situation like when you wrote those lyrics?
I mean, you know, we know that song to be a very popular song in music. So even the child sample was strategic because we know that every reggae DJ around the world plays this song. You know what I mean? And we know this is a popular record within the culture of the music. So, you know, when I talk about in the lyrics, it fits into my style of music, you know, just I talk about, riches and wealth and the vanity of pursuing that and all of that. So it was easy to write around those topics, but we still wanted to keep it fresh and relevant. Some end up I talk about how, them I do certain things just to boost them profile, meaning them social media profile. You know what I mean? And all of them kind of thing of people just doing some outlandish things just to go viral and all of them thing. And
Right.
it's still vanity at the end of the day, and
Definitely.
yeah. So it was easy to write on that topic there for sure.
Mm. One of my favorite tracks are when you first asked me, the first track that I mentioned as my favorite is Addiction. Because I think it's very important to address these topics. I love the lyrics. I love the topics that you're talking about. You're talking about addiction to social media. Scrolling and swiping before I brush my teeth. You're talking about ordering stuff online, even though you might not need it, and so forth.
Yep.
How do you view the internet yourself? As an artist, you can use social media for promotion. At the same time, in this song, you're touching the topic saying, well, let's say it's a blessing and a curse, right?
Yeah, no, for sure. Definitely. Like, for me, I almost feel trapped certain way because, for in this modern day to get your music promoted, get your music out there, especially as independent artists, we really use the internet to get the music out, and that's how we interact with the fans. I love the fact that we can have more direct interaction with the fans than say 20, 30 years ago. So as you say, it's a gift and a curse, but a lot of us just form the dependency on it. And it's really, when you check this song, 'cause obviously, mental health has become a big theme within our lives and within sports and within all of these things lately. And it's really a song about mental health. It's just about how much do you let these things control you as opposed to you controlling it. So even things like, it's good to just, when you wake up, you give it all half an hour before you even take up your phone. Make sure that the phone not controlling your life, and you know what I mean, you give it a little break. I have like time limits on certain apps on my phone. So if I'm on it for more than say 45 minutes for the day, then it just remind me to just lock it down and them kind of things. So these are like tools that we can use to make sure that we in control,
Oh, that's a very good advice. You mentioned mental health. Other than those measures that you just mentioned, how do you preserve your mental health, and how do you sustain the energy that you're, for example, singing about in this very positive and optimistic song, Energy? Even though a lot of times you touch heavy topics, you sing social commentary, would you just still say you're an optimistic person?
Yeah, for sure. Ultimately everything goes towards good. And I feel like we're in a universe that good is what's driving everything forward, and the love frequency is driving things forward. So even though it might not look like that at times, the bigger picture is that love is there, as the foundation of everything. So yeah, definitely remain positive. And I like to exercise. I like to go just soak up the sun as much as I can, at least once a day. And meditation, things like that, yoga, eating healthy, make sure say, me not eat too much snacks a daytime and all of them things, just keep certain things on a minimum. But yeah, and having good people around you too, people who don't feed off of your energy in a negative way. You have to keep the energy vampires away from you, because them real out there, people who don't even realize that's what they are. So that's how it tie back to the whole vibe in energy. Don't drain my energy. Just if you're there around, just keep it upful and keep it positive, and
Oh, definitely you have to be careful, but that's great advice as well. You're going to be exercising a lot in the next couple of days, because you're going to start a tour tomorrow. It's going to lead you through the US, some shows with Nattali, Rize, some with Jordan T. So if you want to catch Kabaka live, you can check all the dates. They are on Reggaeville.com. Just go on Kabaka profile and you find all the dates and all the information. where you can catch him. And if you are unlucky and you don't manage to visit any concerts in the near future, we still have a very nice treat for you, because on our Reggaeville YouTube channel, we have now this season 3 of the Hirie Coach series, live sessions from the legendary studio in Kingston, Jamaica. Amazing performances by Joby Jay, Blvk H3ro, Zhayna, and also the roots percussionist Hector Lewis.
Running up and down, country boy. You go on like you know a town, but you no know a bag of wire. You no know a Rize, you no know a Pearl Harbor, not even know a light post. No, hey, I true, I true. Everything I say, I true, yeah. Everything I say, country boy. Tweety, no one knows your name, country boy. And Kingstonians get your blame, the West. You no know, then I'm town. You no know on speed.
There is a lot to be grateful for. That's a line from your song with Jamiri Morgan. What are you grateful for today?
Yeah, grateful for, being able to do what I love every day. And, the only time I have to wake up early is just for interviews like this.
Thank you.
You know what I mean? But yeah, it's a blessing. It's a blessing to be able to do what you love and have good people around you. People that have been around me all my life, from even before we start this music career, and sensible people, people able to make good business decisions and all of these things, so that, all the pressure is not on me.
Mhm.
I give thanks for even my family supporting me over the years. Like both my parents have been supporting my music from when we had a sound system in high school. You know what I mean? And yeah, so I have to give thanks for that. And yeah, there's lots more to be grateful for, but we'll leave it there for now.
Yeah, man. I mean, I'm grateful for the Kalling. The album is out, and I can only just recommend everyone to listen. It's be a fire, be a bums, and yeah, man, amazing experience, amazing joy to listen to the record. Yeah, I know it's on heavy rotation on the whole Reggaeville platform.
Yeah, man.
everyone
I want to tell everybody, so we want the #1 album of the year on Reggaeville this year, people. So make sure you go vote.
All right. Your book is coming up in December, so make sure you keep that in mind, All right, no problem. Definitely. I think you don't have to worry about that very much. I am grateful for this interview today, Kabaka. I really do thank you so much for taking the time out during this busy time for you. All the very best for the album, and of course, also be safe on the road and have a wonderful tour, and just all the very best for you. Blessings here. Thank you very much.
Enough love. Give thanks. Big up.
Wha Gwaan Munchy.